Hello everyone, I'm Cheryl Wright. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and if you are interested in any of the things I'm about to show you, you can get a hold of me at craftingwithme.stampinup.net, and that will take you to all the places, my schedule, classes, catalogs, ordering information, partying, hosting, joining. It's all right there. So if you care to make an order this month and it's less than $150, go ahead and use that host code and I would be very appreciative. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started. We're using a set from the mini catalog today. It goes through the end of June. It is the Ice Cream Corner Suite. It is a part of a class that I'm doing, so that's why you may be seeing more of these type of videos than normal. So Ice Cream Corner Suite, we're going to go ahead and use the punch. Actually, we're not using the punch today. We're going to use the stamp set, and we're going to use the paper. And the paper is retiring, so if you want any of that, you need to get it soon. But otherwise, the stamp set and punch will be carrying over. They will not be a bundle, I don't believe. If you order them as a bundle, they you save 10%, but they will still be available. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to make this card today. I'm calling it a Peekaboo Popsicle card. And so that's what we're going to be making today. To get started, you need a paper that is, this is terracotta tile, and it is 7.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 3 1/4. So what I really did is I just made a card base and scored it in half like I normally do, and then I cut 1 inch off the edge. That's my secret. Let me turn it around this way. So you can also just, yeah. So here we go. We are going to start with some Stampin' Seal, and I am going to just go on the outside edge because this is the part we're going to do a peekaboo on. And set that aside. And right on this narrower side, I'm going to go ahead and my borders on this are a little smaller than they normally are. I only did 1/8 of an inch around the edge instead of 1/4 of an inch. Oh, got a little adhesive leaking out there. Just rub it and it comes off. So this is where we're going to make the peekaboo. So I'm going to use my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and because this is so wide, I have to use the big machine, the regular size one, not the mini. So this is the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I'm going to set it down gently because I don't want to wreck my paper, because I know that's where my video happens. Anyway, so there we have that. I am going to use the largest shape from the Stitched Shapes, and these are retiring. I don't know if they're still available or not. These are one of my favorite sets, and I'm very sad they're leaving us, but I can't do anything about it, so I just have to be sad and be excited about the new stuff that is coming. Our current annual catalog ends in about a week and a half, depending on when you're watching this. And okay, I needed to put this on before. I'm going to set it there so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to kind of get it toward the top, kind of centered. And we don't have a magnetic plate right now available, so I'm just using a Post-it note to kind of just anchor it there, kind of where I want it. Not kind of, that's where I want it. And then I'm going to go ahead and make a sandwich with the plates that it told me to. I need the 1, 2, and the 3s to get the dies through the machine. Sorry if the camera wiggles a little, but it actually moves. It usually goes through very, very smoothly. It is cutting through both of those pieces of paper, a piece of Designer Series paper with the popsicles and a piece of the cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and set my machine aside because I am done with this. There we go. Folds up nice and small, snug. for storage. And here we have this. And to go back, the plates tell you what you need. For dies, you need 1, 2, and the 2, 3 plates. And for embossing, you need other stuff, and other different sandwich combination. I'll set those aside. So I'm going to take my Post-it note off. Yes, I reuse those. And I'm just going to gently pop this out. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do with all these little windows, but I will come up with something. So they will be fun to play with. So now we have this peekaboo, is what I'm calling it. And if you are taking this as a class, I did this part for you because I didn't know if you had the dies. If you are not taking this as a part of one of my classes, you'll have to make the peekaboo yourself. So I am going to crease this edge with my bone folder really, really well because I made the next paper to go in also a little smaller so it comes closer to the edge, but that's all right because then it pops open when you want it open. Next up, we're going to do a little stamping. These are photopolymer stamps. So I'm getting my mat out, sorry. It's kind of messy, but that's okay. They are photopolymer stamps. You can see all my extra pieces. I keep them in my stamp boxes. Anyway, so I'm going to use a little cushion underneath them. And I'll set this aside. We need to make some popsicles and we need to do the greeting. So, is this the right one for this? Yes, this is the right one for the inside. So we'll do this one first. So we're going to make it so the greeting goes up the side. This one says thank you. I'm going to do the happy birthday on this next one. So this paper is, let me look at quick, 4 1/8 by 5 3/4. I have a tutorial for this. If you're interested, go ahead and contact me and I would be happy to send you the tutorial. So we're just going to take and go right up the side. And there you have it. Happy birthday. I'm going to keep that one out because we're going to make some popsicles. I'm going to get a couple other pieces out. I'm going to set this in here. It's ready to go. I may stamp some cinnamon inside, but I'm going to wait until I get the popsicles done. And I just set them aside. Silly me. Okay, so for this, I'm going to grab a scrap of white. For the popsicle, you need to do there's a stamp for the top piece and a stamp for the bottom piece. The colors for the designer series paper are listed on the back of any of our designer series papers have all the colors that coordinate with it on the back. I'm going to use some Bermuda Bay. I'm going to also use some Blackberry Bliss, some terracotta tile, and some cinnamon cider. I'm going to apologize in advance if I sneeze. It feels like it might be happening. So, the terracotta tile, all of the colors are really dark. So, actually, here's a popsicle I did earlier. This bottom part I did full strength of Blackberry Bliss, and the top part was stamped off once. So, I'm going to stamp off just so I can get some better blending of the colors. So, what I mean by stamping off is I'm just going to stamp on a piece of paper and then I will stamp on the cardstock. And let's do a couple with this. Stamp off. And yes, I will be making extra popsicles just because you never know what they're going to turn out like. So I'm going to set that aside. We'll do a Blackberry Bliss one. Actually, I'm going to change my mind on that. We'll do one bottom stamp off and see what we like better. So there you have it. this aside. I need to clean off my stamps. And my chamois is getting very used, but it still works great. I cut mine in half so for a class. You could do that too. All right. I love my chamois though, as you can tell. So let's get some Blackberry Bliss out. And we're going to do it on the bottom. And like I said, I'm going to stamp off just so my colors have the chance to blend a little better and kind of line it up. You can trim it a little because we're going to cut these out. So there's one. Let me see here. Maybe we'll try Bermuda Bay on the top of that one. Tap, tap, tap. Oh, I didn't stamp off. Ooh, that one looks tasty. And let's see here. I'm going to do another. I like that one. So we'll use that one and let's see if we can get the purple, the Blackberry Bliss. Another one. I didn't line that one up very well either, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and stop there. I think we can use 2 of those. The next thing we're going to do is do the popsicle. Actually, no, we're going to add some texture to them. So these are just some little dots that came with it. And just kind of add some dimension to your popsicle. I'll use the chamois, kind of dot it off, and I'm going to use the terracotta tile and add a little on there from that. Just gives it some, maybe some condensation marks. All right, okay, we're going to stop there with the terracotta tile and with the Bermuda Bay. And yes, I have the old style stamp case and the new style stamp case. I have not traded up yet. I'll use it. I'll do it as I go, as I need to. All right. Excuse me, I needed a drink. We are going to take that little Post-it note that I used earlier, and we're going to put it on the bottom so we don't get popsicle stick in the road. I'm going to use the little popsicle stick stamp. I am going to stamp off, and then I'm going to try to center the stick. I'll do the same thing with the next one. Ooh, got full strength that time. Got a little carried away. There we have it. Okay, so now I'm going to put the little wood grain marks on. And they do work better if you stamp off the bottom layer. But it'll be fine. We're only going to use 2 of these anyway, so who knows which 2 we'll use. Actually, that doesn't look half bad without it being stamped off. So this is the same Post-it note we used for the dies. See, I told you we'd reuse it. All right, so now we have the little popsicles ready to go. I'm going to grab our snips, and this is a very easy shape to cut out. See, I already evened that side up without even worrying about it. So I do a live on my Facebook every Friday that you could join me on. And I always have a project or 2 to share. We chat, we visit, we have a little fun, share a project. And see what's new. All right, so there's that popsicle. Kind of reminds me of one of those kind of red, white, and blue ones. And we'll use this one just because it's closer to the edge. This looks like a homemade popsicle because the stick isn't centered, but that is okay. And I am done. So now we have the 2 popsicles ready to go. And I have an extra popsicle for another card if I wanted to do another card, which I probably will. All right, let's get our card base back. Our card base is here. We're going to attach this with some Stampin' Seal. You could use whatever adhesive is your favorite go-to. I like the speed of this. Apparently I'm so used to the fast fuse, but we don't have that anymore, and I'm still doing the check on the side, and it messes it up sometimes. You just pull it with your finger. Anyway, there's a thinner edge than I normally leave, but I wanted it to match up with this when you closed it. So there's your card. So you have the peekaboo space, and that's where you're going to mount your 2 popsicles. I crossed the sticks like this, and then I kind of just popped them in there. I'm going to use dimensionals. I have little dimensionals, or mini dimensionals, and I'm also going to use a glue dot for them when they overlap, just to kind of give them a little more, because they are part of the outside of the card. So, all right, we have those. Actually, I'm going to glue dot them together first. That way, that way. Trying to decide. I think I like this way best. All right, so that's why I want to put a glue dot right there. And my glue dots, I think, are backwards. I don't know. Either that or I'm backwards. I'm going to use my take your pick tool, pick up a glue dot. I don't know. I just feel like I got a backwards pack. And then I'm going to cross my sticks, and I think this one's going to be in the road, but we'll fix that. Yep, this one's going to be in the road. I didn't push down on it too hard, so it'll still come up. Cross my sticks. They don't have to be perfectly even. And then I've got the glue dot there, and then I'll put this back. All right. So before I add it, I'm going to add some baker's twine. This is from the snail mail pack. It's Blushing Bride, I believe. Yep, Blushing Bride Baker's Twine, and it's from the January-June catalog. I'm going to use about 9 inches. And where's my snips? And it's not one of the colors that was listed as to coordinate with this, but it goes very nicely. And I'm just going to tie a little bow around the sticks. And then I'm going to put another dimensional below it. So when I put it on the card, it won't slide off. All right. Just kind of maneuver it up the sticks. And then that's where I'm going to put another dimensional. So now I have it all ready. I can fix the bow on the front. I'm going to pull off the backing from the dimensionals. There you go. And I'm going to pop that in the middle there and fix my bow. All right. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp a sentiment inside, and I'm going to put it below here so you can't see it through the window. That's why I did not do it before. Happy birthday. Hope it's sweet. We're going to go ahead and get the terracotta tile out, and terracotta tile is a retiring color, so it will not be available much longer. I did not check to see if it was available still. Let me get my pad under there. I'd hate to ruin my card at this point. These are photopolymer stamps, so you can see through them. And there you have it. Now, I do have some little epoxy things that I included in my class, but these are retired, but there's new ones, I think similar to this, coming out in the new catalog. That's the only reason I use the retired product. But these are clear epoxy shapes, and there's new epoxy shapes coming out next week, so that's why I did use them. They look like they are so similar. And this one does not want to come up. Couldn't get under it. All right, so this is a drop, and I'm just going to put it on here like the ice is trying to start to melt on the popsicle. And we'll put a drop. Ooh, this one just does not want to come up. All right, the other side of the take your pick tool is a spatula on this end, so we'll try a spatula. Maybe if I bent it, that works sometimes when you bend it. And we'll put a drop here. I'm trying to line it up with a couple of those other little drops. Kind of magnifying them. Look at another drop. Spatula end is working much better by bending it back, so that would be my way to go, I guess. There you go. We'll put a couple more on. And there you have our card. Now, the best thing you could do would be to decorate an envelope to go with it. But I will let you do that and share it with a friend. Thanks for watching. Bye.